What is good, everyone? Mills here, bringing you some fire content on the Fire Day 18 channel. And in today's video, we're going to be rating every single MLB game that I have played in the past 3 years. So 15, 16, 17, and 18 if you count this year as well. So basically actually 4 years. Pretty crazy to think about. I've been playing MLB The Show since 15. I actually bought the game very late in 2015. MLB The Show 15. So I think my rating for that one's going to be a teensy bit biased, so guys, if you do hate me for it, please don't. I know I literally got little time to play MLB The Show 15 as I'm going to be rating this list. And yeah, so we're going to be rating every single game that I've played in MLB The Show, like I said. MLB The Show 15, 16, 17, and 18. And basically, we're going to be counting down from it. So yeah, in 4th place, we're going to be rating it from 4th place to 1st place. We got MLB The Show 15 in last. I'm only putting this game on the bottom because I actually did play the Diamond Dynasty that year, and I was like, wow, this is very unmemorable. This is not interesting at all. I do not like it. It is very hard to get good cards in this one. It's not really that enjoyable. I did find the Road of the Show to be very good. Good at least for its time before they started making it better. I still thought it was a nice Road of the Show because that was actually the reason why I kept playing MLB The Show 15. But I kind of rated on the low one on the list because it really didn't have much going for it. It did have online franchise, I think, but I'm not sure. That was definitely a big plus, something that 18 doesn't have. So I am going to put it on number 4. And by the way, guys, before I continue with this list, I'm not saying that the bottom 2 on this list are bad games. I'm just saying that, they're the ones that I feel like were the lowest in quality that I've played. You guys may still enjoy them, but yeah. So that's going to be MLB 15 on number 4. In 3rd place, we're going to be going with MLB The Show 18, guys. Yes, this one may be a bit of a shocker. It may not be one to some because obviously there has been a good amount of hate. Not a lot of hate, but criticism for MLB The Show 18 between the community. I have actually found its flaws as well. Mostly, it's been online, though. I feel like ranked seasons, the rewards are, okay, they're good, but I feel like you can get better cards just by grinding in the offline programs, which I actually think are the strongest part about MLB The Show. You may as well call this a Diamond Dynasty comparison, but I feel like the offline, stuff you can do in Diamond Dynasty, Conquest, Conquest, grinding programs, play versus CPU, all that was nailed perfectly in my opinion. Those are the reasons why I am playing MLB The Show 18 Diamond Dynasty a lot. Events is okay at best. I just don't see the rewards being as worth it as the ones you get in offline, like in Immortals, for example. I just don't know. I just didn't really like the online this year, personally. Battle Royale, I think, is still fun to do. I still think you guys should still play that. I still think it's the best mode you can play online. I just don't see it being worth it for, the 12-game 99 rewards or something, or the 94s at times. Because this year I think they changed the fact that there wasn't as many 99s as in MLB The Show 17. Because I remember there were so many 99s that year. So this year they kind of toned it down. But I feel like they added, I think, a teensy bit too much 99s in offline that they made online kind of oh, this is basically nothing. You should just play offline to get the good rewards. It's kind of why I put it on 3rd place on the list. I feel like the Road of the Show is definitely the strongest in this one. Although I am kind of having a vibe that it's kind of similar to 17's Road of the Show. So that's definitely why it's going to be 3rd place. But like I said, I'm not rating it on one particular mode. I'm rating it on all the modes. I think the franchise is also pretty good this year, for sure. But they have no online franchise, which is kind of a downer for that one. I don't really include the extra modes in this one because those are all basically the same every year. So I kind of keep it only Diamond Dynasty franchise and Road of the Show when I'm rating these lists. So number 3 only goes to MLB The Show 18. I do think that the offline is probably the best out of all the 4 that I've played. It definitely is the best offline amount of content. I also it's overall fun, but I just don't like how online they give you worse rewards and stuff you can get offline. Not saying that online's not worth it. It's just they made offline much easier to get good rewards, which is good for people who don't have PlayStation Plus, but if you just want to play against really good opponents, you're not going to really see much of a point in doing it, if the rewards aren't as good. So yeah, that's kind of why I put MLB Show 18 on 3. But anyways, moving on after that very long discussion about 18, I also didn't like some of the, not really the animations. The animations weren't as bad, but I don't know. There's definitely Definitely a lot of criticism with the PCI at the start. It's definitely gotten a little better, but there are still a few issues on the online. Anyways, moving on to number 2 on this list, I'm going to be putting MLB The Show 16 on there. So basically, so far, I've rated it as 15, 18, 16. And yeah, MLB The Show 16, I rate as second place because that's the one where they kind of really expanded on Diamond Dynasty. So like what they did for that was they added Conquest, they added Battle Royale, they kind of revolutionized. I mean, they didn't really revolutionize, but they added some really key modes that made the game much more popular and more enjoyable. Like they added Battle Royale that year. That was a big hit. People still kept playing MLB The Show 16 after after I think like baseball season ended because of Battle Royale. That was kind of one of the big modes there. Conquest was also pretty big for like the first month. That's also like how you can get some of the best rewards if you wanted to be 100% on the game. You can also do Conquest to get all those innings in. And what I did like about 16 was that they like the innings that you got to do, like you could literally you could grind them against like the Yetis, and they were like the worst team ever, and you could still get so many innings, and it was the best. Like it was so easy to grind that year. It was so nice and refreshing. It was like one of, I think, the more utopian days of MLB when like you got to have a lot of fun with it. Battle Royale was introduced as well. I think that's a big improvement over 15, because 15, I remember people saying after 1 month of Diamond Dynasty, I think people literally quit the game because of how hard it was to get good rewards. So I think that was a big step up that 16 did over 15. Guys, I'm also kind of including, I think, like more step ups what they did from the other game, I think, to put them above, like to rate in placement. So I actually ignored what I said for the last 10 seconds. It sounded really confusing. But I don't know. Anyways, continuing on with the rating, I thought 16 really did a lot with it. Like they made rewards. They made rewards actually a decently hard amount to get, but you still got like really good rewards from it. That's why I love the addition of Conquest that year, because Conquest you could get like, I don't know, like I remember like you were able to grind the Tampa Bay Rays or something. You would get a Ben Zobrist at the end of it, and he wasn't that bad, all right? He had a lot of versatility, and he was actually not a bad hitter at all. I mean, he's not the best card in the game, but he ain't the worst. He's good to get, like, from grinding. That's what I also liked about 16. The offline and the online were both all, like, very great modes that were able to keep going for the whole year. Like, ranked seasons was not as strong that year, which is kind of why that's kind of, I think, the only fault of that game that really puts it, like, on the second place, mostly because ranked seasons wasn't as good at that year. Or MLB The Show was really, I think MLB The Show 16 wasn't really as improved, like, in Road to the Show as it did in 15. Like, it didn't make much improvement besides, like, oh, it's the opening day debut for your creative player or for your player in the Major Leagues. Like, there wasn't really much improvement for Road to the Show that year. I'll admit, Online Franchise was pretty fun, though. Definitely a good reason why it's second place above 18 and 15. And now moving on to the number 1 list, or the first place winner for my MLB games I've played and are rated, I have to go with MLB The Show 17, guys. I think this one was going to be a no-brainer for you guys at the start, since you guys have definitely known that I've been playing this game for like maybe 4 years, if you can include this year, and like I've loved 17. I mean, I played it a lot on my channel. It's actually one of the things that jump-started my channel again, guys, because as you know, I did have a channel before MLB. It just wasn't this, and that was kind of the first game I started playing, and it was the one I actually, as you could probably tell, if you go back and watch my old streams, I enjoyed the most. Like, I loved streaming VR. I loved getting those good rewards and stuff. It was really fun. But that's, I don't think, the reason why 17 is the best one. I think MLB The Show 17 was just very consistent with, like, the hitting engine that year. There weren't a lot of issues in terms of, like, just swinging the ball or like hitting a bomb. Like, they did actually add all those ball physics too, which made it a little more interesting when you hit a ball. Like, the ball could curve, or the ball may elevate a lot farther. It was a lot like easier, like, to really, like, the physics were a lot better in that game. The one issue with it though was, and this one didn't really hurt the game, it only hurt the game for like the first month, was literally the internet issues with SDS. They do this almost every year. They didn't do it with 18, but with like 16 and 17 they kind of did. And there was also an issue with like the game goes to the queue after you worked so hard to get it. It was kind of an issue for the first month, but I'm only putting it for the game's life cycle. It was a bit of a flaw, but it didn't really affect the game that much because it was still a fun game. Great offline rewards you can get. I liked how you can just there wasn't as much exchanging that year as 18. Not saying that MLB The Show 18 exchanging is hard. It is hard, but if you are a good player at the game, if you're good at playing MLB The Show and you're really good at BR, you can easily get those stubs for the exchanges. But the thing about 17 was that it was actually kind of easy to get a lot of the good, really good rewards, because they had they actually also introduced programs that year, which is also a reason why I'm putting it at number 1 on my list of MLB The Show games I played, mostly because of the fact that they found that balance of making it too easy or too hard to kind of just get really good rewards. Because I'll be honest, the Pepe Alzar grind was tough. It was a tough grind for sure. That's kind of why I think it also deserves placement. It actually tried to give I think players a challenge for the rewards you're trying to get in MLB The Show 17. And also, I think they made a huge jump with the Road to the Show that year. They just made a huge jump. They added some dialogue choices you could do. This was a really big upgrade, I think, in Road to the Show that really, I think, boosted its popularity a little bit more. And I think they're still working on it. I mean, I still think the best career mode there is in the games, in the sport game business, is NBA 2K. But MLB The Show definitely did make a step up from 16 to 17. Well, with MLB 17 improving a lot on Road to the Show. Another big reason why I'm putting it at number 1. Another good reason is that they still continued online franchise. I heard they also upgraded franchise a teensy bit. They had, you can go to certain moments in the game where, you have to make a clutch moment and, you can easily win a game for your franchise team. It was just, it was so cool, exhilarating moments. They also introduced, I think, Showtime, which is only in Road to the Show, I think, where you can slow down and you can aim your PCI at the ball, and then you can swing the bat and you hit you can hit a straight up great hit most of the time. Another big reason, also a very key reason as to why MLB The Show 17 is my number 1, guys. So yeah, there you have it. That is my list of the MLB games I've played and just thoroughly enjoyed from 4th place to 1st place. Guys, tell me what you think based on all the MLB The Show games you played. Give me your list of what you think is the best from best to worst. Do it the opposite of what I did today, because what I did was really confusing. I kind of wanted to make it more fun, though, because then, you guys would, have to, figure out, wait, what is Mills' number 1? He just put his worst one. But yeah, guys, please tell me what your opinions are of what your favorite games were from all the MLB The Show games that you've played. Also, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you're new to this channel, and become a dad today. I'll see y'all in the next video stream. Peace, guys. Have a wonderful day.